This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealer.
Hi everybody and welcome to today's show. You know, when those terrorists flew those planes into the World Trade Center towers in New York on 9/11, life as we know it in America changed for everybody. But one of the ways it changed for those of us who love fishing and boating is that Squaw Creek Lake, located in central and northern part of Texas near Glen Rose, was closed to the public and has been closed for almost 10 years. On today's show, we have a great announcement, and that is that Squaw Creek Lake is now back open to the public on a limited basis. We're going to go out today on the lake, do a little scouting, reminisce, bring back some old memories, show you some fishing, and talk about, yes, how you can get back on Squaw Creek Lake for the first time since 2001. The lake is here in the background. It's a beautiful lake, beautiful facility here at Squaw Creek Park. And while we're out there doing that, we're taking you around the region for all your regular weekly fishing reports. Now, Squaw Creek is a power plant lake, and on the Lawrence Hot Lake of the Week this week, we're giving you a 3-for-1 special and showing you 3 power plant lakes in Texas for your winter time fishing. And on the Big Catch of the Week, we'll show you a double-digit largemouth bass from West Texas. So right now we're going to get the Nitro Z8 launched into Squaw Creek Lake and experience a little of this bass fishing for ourselves. But while we get ready, here's Heather with this week's Chevy Weekend Planner.
The Salinar tables indicate the best fishing times will be either in the mornings or later in the evening. Prime hours on Saturday will start at 9:10 a.m. with the best activity on Sunday beginning at 10:05. The sun will come up at 7:14 and set at 5:21. We've got a new moon starting on Sunday. Now let's get back to Barry.
Thanks very much, Heather. We've made it out onto Squaw Creek Lake right now, and a couple of observations. Number one, the wind is howling like it always is. Big whitecaps all across the lake. We're going to be somewhat limited, or a lot limited, to the places we can fish, so I'm not sure how good the fishing is going to be today. Plus, bright bluebird skies. Second observation, I want you to look at this depth right here. We're sitting out in the creek channel, actually, of Squaw Creek, and it's 114, 115 feet deep right here. This is a very deep lake with a lot of rocky shoreline cover and a lot of steep drop-offs all the way around it. So it's a good structure fishing lake, but the tough thing for black bass is that they've got a lot of deep places they can run to get away from us if they want to escape the high skies and escape any of the conditions that they want to run from. So it can be a very difficult fishing lake. We will check it out, go up here and fish a couple of points and some brush and show you some of the cover and the lay of the land coming up next. Plus, we're going to get right into your fishing reports with Brian Hughes, your Texas Freshwater Reports, after this.
This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealer.
Here we go. Hey, I got one. This is going to be the first bass since 2001. Here he comes up. Decent fish. All righty. Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, and a lot of fight in him too. Easy. Give up, surrender. There we go. All right, there is a bass from Squaw Creek Lake. What memories this brings back from 2001. The last time I fished here was in probably April of 2001. So next April, it will be 10 years of me not getting to fish this lake, and it used to be absolutely one of my favorites for that reason. The fish are short, chunky, fat, stocky, and very, very powerful. Let's let him go back. Let me give you the quick lay of the land here of Squaw Creek, what to expect. That fish came out of the very top of an old mesquite tree or bush. The entire terrain here is completely lined with cedars, mesquites, and a few bodarks. And they are, even after 10 years, they're still standing in the water. They've not deteriorated. Some of them have, but still lots and lots of timber in the water. That one came on a Texas rig, Little Who Daddy by Gene LaRue. Okay, that's the lay of the land. The water's fairly clear. Water temperature is about 76 degrees right here at mid-lake. So we'll see what it is on both ends of the lake. Right now, let's start our fishing reports from around the region. Let's check in with Brian Hughes in Texas.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Brass and Blades. Now, complaining about government is an American pastime, but when they get it right, we need to give them credit where credit is due. And Texas Parks and Wildlife has really hit a home run with their winter put and take trout stocking program. This past Wednesday, on the 1st, they began stocking locations all across the state. There are hundreds of these small urban and suburban ponds that will be filled with rainbow trout. And it just takes a little time and effort on your part. You can have some great rainbow trout eating when you're done. It takes light line, very small treble hooks, and a small split shot about 12 inches above your bait. Now, as far as baits go, you can use a variety of products that are made for rainbow trout, including some of the Berkeley products. Or you can use things you can find around the house, like mini marshmallows and Velveeta cheese. Just search TPWD Trout Stockings and you can find the entire schedule of dates and locations in your area. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Brass and Blades. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island. With its Gulf beaches, great coastal fishing, Arnold Palmer Golf Course, fresh seafood, and nighttime hotspots, Port A is truly Texas Island style. For more information, visit the website on the screen. Well, can you believe it? It's December and the fishing is hotter than it was in October. The cold fronts we've seen have not been so severe that the water temperatures have severely dropped. However, speckled trout are holding near deeper water along mud shell shorelines and spoil islands. Once the water temperature warms, topwater lures as well as badonkadonk SS suspending baits are catching fish in more shallow water. Birds continue to be a proven indicator of feeding fish on Sabine Lake. It's one of the hottest bays on the coast for specks, reds, and flounder. Now, lower coast action is picking up along the intercoastal, around Mexikita Flats, and in the Brownsville Ship Channel. A variety of different fish species are being caught. On the middle coast, offshore anglers are catching some big yellowfin tuna that have moved in close, as well as numbers of blackfin tuna as they troll deeper water out of Port A. Red snapper action remains good in state waters around structure and rigs out to 9 nautical miles. Inshore, anglers are catching slot-sized redfish as they continue to roam shallow flats during the middle of the day. Drains from back lakes, as well as those that drain the flats into the channels, are also producing speckled trout. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Oh, there's one. Hey, I got one. Let's see what I got. Easy, easy, don't break me off. What have I got? Whoa. Good bass. There we go. All right, there's a chunk right there. Squaw Creek Lake chunk right there. Man, there you go. That's about a 4 or 5 pound bass right there. And we're gonna let him go back like we always do. He won't hang on my glove. See you, bud. All right, well, I'm having to relearn the lake. Everything's changed here more than I thought it would. But let me show you a couple of baits that I think will be good on this lake as well as others. Starting at the bottom, that's a lipless rattling crankbait. You fish that early and late in shallow water around grass beds, emergent vegetation, and around some of the shallow stumps. Then we go to a soft plastic bait to fish around all this brush and all the visible timber. That's a Jean LaRue Bifflebug Texas rig, but you can also throw a Carolina rig just as effectively. And then, believe it or not, used to, a jigging spoon was a really good bait off some of this deep structure, off some of these deep points, catching largemouth bass jigged off the bottom. So I believe some of these same patterns will hold. You might want to have those 3 baits ready and available if you're coming to this or several of the other power plant lakes around our region. Stay with us. Gary Dollahan is up next with your Oklahoma Fishing and Lake Report to Sooner Beach.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers, is brought to you by Nitro Performance Bass Boats. Fish your best in a Nitro. By Stren, the standard of dependability. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. And by Motor Guide, never stop.
Welcome back, everybody. We're on Squaw Creek Lake, located just outside Glen Rose, Texas on today's show, talking about this and other power plant lakes. What is significant about power plant lakes? Well, heading into the wintertime, it's very, very important. Why? Because they artificially warm the water, put it back out into the lake, and that keeps the water temperature much warmer than the other cold water lakes all across our region. In fact, right here, even in the dead of winter, the water temperature will stay up in the 70s in this and other power plant lakes. That keeps all of the game fish much more active, feeding, and much more apt to chase and strike your bait than in any of the cold water lakes. Once the water gets really cold, below 50 degrees, it's hard to make a lot of species bite. But on a power plant lake, your chances are much greater. In fact, right now the water temperature is about 76, 78 degrees. We're not far from the hot water outlet. You can see the intake is in this area down on the main lake in front of the boat ramp, and then the discharge is down right in front of the dam. So the coolest water will be on the upper right-hand side of the lake here, and the warmest water will be down just outside the discharge, down closer to the dam in these coves in this area. So you have a power plant lake to try right through the cold weather months. Let's check in right now with Gary Dollahan and this week's Sooner Beat.
I'm serious when I say wintertime is truly one of my favorite times of year to fish here in Oklahoma. And I say that for a couple of reasons. One, you typically have the lake to yourself, and two, with all the different species we have, you usually can find something biting. Our crappie season is already off to a really good start, getting good reports coming in from many places across the state. Todd Huckabee tells me down on Lake Eufaula, the white and the black crappie are biting really good right now. What he's doing is slow trolling a double jig, about 10 to 12 foot of water along the break lines. And I know for a fact that Fort Gibson, Grand Lake, and Arcadia, those crappie are biting in those places as well. If you don't have a boat to be able to get out there and find the brush piles or fish the break lines, find crappie docks. Those are reporting good catches right now as well. Bass fishing this time of year, that's when I'll start putting on that grub or that jig and spoon and start looking for break lines. My magic break line in the wintertime is typically 19 to 24 feet deep. I like to keep that bait bouncing on that structure at that depth. Going to catch smallmouth, largemouth, and spotted bass. One thing about them, you can't catch them if you don't go.
We are headed into prime time for power plant lake bass fishing and catfishing around our four-state region. And on this week's Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week, I'm going to give you a 3-for-1 special. Now, everybody knows about the famous power plant lakes like Monticello and Fayette County and Gibbons Creek, but I'm going to give you 3 little-known power plant lakes over in East Texas that don't receive near the fishing pressure that some of the others do. And let's start off near Longview, Texas at Brandy Branch Reservoir on my Lowrance HDS 10. Brandy Branch is 10 miles east of Longview. It's 1,200 acres with a max depth of 50 feet, filled in 1983, and got lots of hydrilla beds. The lake is fairly low now, but plenty accessible to boaters. Next, we show you Martin Creek Lake, 3 miles southwest of Tatum, Texas. It's 5,000 acres, 35 feet max depth, filled in 1974. We zoom in and show you the Navionics Hot Maps Platinum chart for some detail, and there are lots of shallow water grass beds and stumps to fish in this lake, which is about 5 feet low now. The ramp is a little iffy. The lake has lots of shallow stumps. The locals say to go at idle speed if you don't know the lake. And lastly, we show you Welsh Lake, 10 miles southeast of Mount Pleasant, Texas. It's 1,300 acres, 50 feet max, filled in 1976. Now, there are not a lot of grass beds in this lake, but there is a lot of standing timber. We switched to the Navionics Hot Maps Platinum to locate a great overhead shot of the power plant on the left with the intake and hot water outlet. This is really a good bass lake with lots of bottom structure to fish. Now these lakes will be good all winter long, no matter how cold it gets, because once again, that water is artificially warmed. That's this week's Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week. Stay with us. When we come back, Cajun Phil and Kevin are up next from Louisiana.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers, is brought to you by quality award-winning Tracker Boats, Fish the Finest, by Lowrance, makers of the HDS, High Definition Systems, and by Jean LaRue Lures and Bobby Garland Baits, quality soft plastic baits made in Oklahoma with American pride.
Oh, there's one. Whoa. Back this other way. You come back this other way. Welcome to Squaw Creek, everybody. He took right in the top of the head. And I told you these fish were healthy. They're fat. I want you to look. Oh, I got him on, again, a Texas rigged. That one was on a biffle bug. Look how wide and fat and well fed those fish are. Eating a lot of shad, a lot of small minnows in this lake. Let's put him back. I want to tell you a couple of things here real quick. I've learned something about this lake. Only gotten to fish it today a few hours. A lot of the little thin cover, the little thin brush that used to line the shorelines is gone now. You can see behind me. This is just a smooth, rocky ledge bank. So that's going to push these fish more out onto offshore structure. So you're going to have to come here, use your sonar, your electronics, and find some drop-offs, some ledges, some humps, and I think that's where the fish are going to go. It's a great catfish lake. Got a lot of reports of some fantastic catfishing. In fact, show you just a quick little video clip or two of opening day here back in June, and everybody on the lake was catching catfish. We'll come back and do some more next spring here and pass that along to you as well. Right now, here's Cajun Phil and Kevin with Cajun Bites.
Hi friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox, Louisiana Fishing Report. Well, I tell you what, it's been pretty chilly the last couple of weeks, but the bass fishing, it's pretty good. Talked to Joe Johnson, he said the Cajuns, the water's still really low at Toledo Bend right now, but they're still catching lots of bass. He said they're moving in the shallow water. Spinnerbait seems to be the key. He's been throwing his Stanley spinnerbait. He's been catching lots of bass. He said it won't be but a couple of weeks. The big old white perch are going to start hitting up on Toledo Bend. As far as here in southwest Louisiana, Captain Kevin, he's been duck hunting just about every morning. Just got off the phone with him. He said he's killing limited ducks every day. Today they had duck and some big old speckled belly. As far as the fishing goes here in southwest Louisiana, Captain Mark Hughes, well, he's catching lots of big slab flounder. Right now the flounder are up and down the ship channel. Pretty easy picking to get a limit of flounder right here in southwest Louisiana. I talked to Jeremy Waltrip. Jeremy said he went wade fishing in that cool weather a couple of days ago. Caught a limit of redfish all on topwater lures. Yesterday he went out through nothing but grub, thunder, poppycarp. Caught a limit of speckled trout. So it's pretty hot and heavy right now, whether you want to go hunting or fishing here in Louisiana, whether you want to go saltwater, freshwater.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers, is brought to you by Abu Garcia for life, by Navionics. We start where the road ends, by Whataburger, just like you like it, and by Mercury Outboards, #1 on the water. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for our Ask the Pro feature, brought to you by Stren, the standard of dependability. Our question this week is from Dustin in Texas, who asked, what is the crappie fishing technique called strolling? For the answer, let's check with Mr. Crappie himself, Wally Marshall.
A lot of folks across the country over the years, especially in the southeast, you know, your South Carolinas, Floridas, Alabamas, people do a technique called trolling. There's actually several different kinds of trolling. There's actually pushing and pulling. You can actually troll baits behind your boat. If you're going to be pushing, we take our long rods, spider rig them out on rod holders, and you're using rods anywhere from 10 foot up to 18 foot in length, so you can cover a wide spread of water. And the reason they call it strolling is because you're moving at a slow pace, less than 1/4 mile an hour, looking for brush tops and ledges to catch those crappie on.
Thank you, Wally. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. Click on the Stren, Ask the Pro link, and send us your information. Now, here's Barry with our Whataburger Big Catch of the Week.
This week's Big Catch of the Week winner is Alan Ehlers of Irving, Texas, shown here with his 10-pound largemouth bass caught at O.H. Ivy Lake in West Texas. He caught it on a chatterbait. If you'd like to enter your big fish photo in our Big Catch of the Week contest, simply go to our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. Top right of the front page is the members area where you'll sign up to become a member of our fan club. It is free. Also, don't forget about our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com, search for Southwest Outdoors Report with Barry Stokes. You'll get lots of Facebook-only content, and if you want to see it all, click the like link, and you'll get all of our content posted to your account, your wall on Facebook. And we are back at Squaw Creek Park right now with the boat ramp and the docks right here in the background, and we are joined by Ashley Montz, who is the Media Relations and Public Relations spokesperson for Luminant. And Ashley, thanks so much for letting us on the lake today. We've had a great time, great fishing out here. Let's talk a little bit about how those folks can get on the lake and do some fishing for themselves.
Absolutely, one-stop shop for you. Luminant.com/Squaw Creek Park. All the information you need is available on that webpage. We're talking about hours, reservation information, everything you need. And most importantly, I do want to stress, if you're bringing a boat out, you do need to make a reservation. Reservations open up starting on Monday, and you can make reservations for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We only have 100 spots, so do make a reservation.
First come, first serve, right?
Yes.
Now, if you don't have a boat and want to get on the lake, you can still come out here and do some bank fishing.
Absolutely. Bank fishing is open Thursday through Sunday. No reservations required, so just bring your rod and show up.
And even if folks wanted to come out, there's a nice park facility here for a picnic or maybe a little bit of hiking, that kind of thing around here. So you don't have to be a fisherman to enjoy Squaw Creek Park.
Sure. We're always excited to have folks come out here and enjoy our facilities, and we look forward to seeing more folks come out.
It's a fantastic facility, back open again. We are so glad it is. Very excited for the future of this location here. Hey, I want to mention before we get out of here that we will be back on next week in our regular time, but I did want to say that there's only 2 weeks left in this season in leading up to our season ending special. We'll have that here in a couple of weeks. Be sure and join us for that. Ashley, thanks so much for letting us in the park. We've had a great time today, great fishing. Come on out and enjoy Squaw Creek Lake and Squaw Creek Park. We'll see you next week. Until then, I'm Barry Stokes saying be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.